Hello, good evening. My thought for the day is that all of us at one point or another move from town to town, city to city, and sometimes country to country. And one thing that we probably don't actually deeply think about is how are we going to feel when we finally make that move? Many of us put on a brave face and pack our bags, buy an airline ticket, and head off into the blue yonder, or the darkness, depending on what time of the day your flight leaves. But at the end of the day, you're somewhere along that journey, going to land somewhere. In the case of anyone coming to the Philippines, it could be Cebu, it could be Clark, or maybe the main airport in Manila. Wherever it is, that will be the start of your journey. And of course, the first day is always going to be full of trepidation, I suppose, the best way to put it. You may well have ordered or paid for a hotel to stay in, somewhere you call home for the moment. But you'll be in holiday mode, you'll be on travel mode, you'll be on business trip mode. Whatever it is, it certainly won't be the start of your retirement. You may look back in time and say, well, that was what I did on my first day. But ultimately, to go anywhere in the world, you need time to settle into a daily routine, something that you can resemble normality. Of course, the thing is that what is normality? Well, I would tend to say, well, what you're used to. And of course, coming to the Philippines is further from what you may be used to than you may like to think so. Some of you may have arranged to meet up with someone who you've been talking to for some time online, maybe only a few months. But whatever you do, it's the start of your journey. The difficulty is that many of you, and I've had friends and acquaintances I've made online that have told me their story. Some in particular have booked an apartment, maybe a family apartment where they can cook and make their own meals in many of the resorts around the country. Of course, that provides you with creature comforts a little bit more than maybe staying in a hotel. In a hotel, of course, you either go out for your meals or you eat in. Again, you don't really have a chance to feel like you've arrived anywhere. Could be anywhere in the world, in fact. But if you go into a resort, you again create a false bubble of life. It's not real. You can go to markets and you can buy food and bring them home. But if, for instance, your lady has a couple of kids, or maybe even just one, life for her is a change of her day, a change of her daily routine, in nice surroundings in many cases. Because a lot of you seem to think that for some reason, that because you've come from a different background, maybe the kind of person you're looking for, you choose somebody who's maybe less fortunate than you would have otherwise chosen. Why do you do that? Why do you choose someone lower than you probably would have expected to choose from your own home country? I suggest it's hedging your bets. I think you're starting at the bottom of the pile instead of the top. When you look for somebody that is to meet your, I suppose, expectations, one would hope that you find somebody that, maybe if you've been a workaholic, to find somebody also that at least has the same mindset, that they also see the benefit and advantage in working. Of course, some of you will say, "Oh, look, darling, you don't need to continue work. I'll support you." Now, of course, if your relationship or your friendship goes pear-shaped, what have you actually done? You've taken her out of work and you've created a void for her, an insecurity for her. So she will be automatically, totally dependent upon you to keep providing the money. Now, of course, if you pull the plug and dump her, or she decides to leave, she's got two things to face. One is going back to what she had before, trying very hard to get a job that isn't easy to find, regardless of where you come from. But for you, you can hop on a plane, maybe move to another city, and you can find another place to live, another person to frequent your lifestyle with. But is that the best way? I don't think so. For many of you, I think you see dating and dating sites as the starting point, when in fact really you should be arriving naked, so to speak, a naked nomad. You should be getting yourself settled, deciding on where you want to live, how you want to live, getting to know as many people as possible. How will you do that? Some suggest that you go around shopping centres, banks, maybe malls, and I suppose they're shopping centres anyway, but finding somebody in one of those is really just looking for a date. You don't have a chance to get to know them. Coffee shops is another one. Well, if you're going there every day, you may well strike up a friendship with one and maybe ask them out on a coffee date or an evening meal date to get to know her a little bit better. But again, you're only going to see the surface until she really shows you what her life is like before you came along. How are you really going to know if that's going to suit you? The other thing is that, remember, a person who doesn't speak your language, who knows your language, and you can communicate reasonably well with her, is going to still remain in her own language slot, so to speak. She's going to have friends that she'll be talking to on her phone. That's her main reason that she's looking at the phone all the time, you hope. And the other thing is that when you're not busy and she's busy, she's going to be quite irritated if you keep on asking her questions and trying to get the attention back on yourself. You're going to have to learn to be independent of your woman, because ultimately that's how you're always going to be. She's going to be doing her own thing. She lives in the Philippines. She is a Filipina. All of her life is wrapped up in what is in her phone, what is in her memory, what is in her family circle, and her workmates. You are just a plus to her life. You're a bit like buying a dog, buying a cat. Yes, you've got to feed it every so often. You've got to make sure it's comfortable, clean and tidy, just like she wants you. But remember, it's your wallet that she's really interested in. That's the thing that offers her the most opportunities in life. It's something that she will do her best to get you into the fold for. But as for fitting in and carrying on a normal lifestyle, again, what is normal? You have to ask yourself, will you fit into her lifestyle to make your life normal? That's a bit of a hard one, isn't it? Because if your life is sitting in the evening, having a drink every night, smoking outside maybe because she doesn't want you smoking in the house. What do you offer her, apart from being a partner with a wallet? If you are into gardening and she's into gardening, and you both enjoy doing it, then there's a plus. You will learn about the plants that she likes, how she cares for them, how she deals with them, how she presents them. That's a common interest. If she likes sitting watching soaps every night, get yourself a TV, a smart one where they've got English subtitles, so at least you can follow the story that she endlessly wants to watch at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 5 in the evening, the evening soaps. No different from you watching the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Oh, that dates me, doesn't it? Or Coronation Street, or EastEnders, or Home and Away, depending on where you're living. But the point is, you have to fit into her life. She doesn't have to fit into yours. Yeah, there's moments, sure, but otherwise, you have to fit into her life. And if you don't fit into her life, you might find yourself, maybe like I did, outside of her life, with her going on her merry way to what she wanted in life, which might not have been you. In fact, it might not have even been a man. And there's food for thought. But the point is, these are the things that you have to think about seriously when coming to the Philippines and coming to make your life here in the Philippines. Once you built the house, once you bought the farm, once you've established a piggery, once you sorted out all the family, what are you going to do? It's a bit like old grandma and grandpa. Grandpa retires and he gets bored. He doesn't know what to do with his time. Grandma's busy caring for the family, making sure Granddad's got his meal at 6 o'clock in the evening, and his breakfast in the morning, and his cup of tea during the afternoon. But she never stops. But Granddad has to somehow find somewhere in this world and things to do. And if he's in a foreign country, he's in a foreign country, and therefore he has to find things that interest him, things that keep his mind active. By the way, the little dog here wants to say hello to me, and it's a little bit distracting, but never mind. We just pat him on the head and he'll be okay. So guys, that's my thought for this evening. I hope it maybe makes you think about whether you could fit in to being part of the Philippines and living here in retirement. Bye now.